Okay, anytime?
Anytime.
Okay. How I got on Torker is I was coming back from the ABA grant. No, I'm sorry. I was approached by Steve Johnson at one of the races, and Steve said that he'd like to have me to race for him for 1984, and I said I have to think about it. So I went back and talked to Steve Rink from Powerlight, and told him that Torker is interested in me for next year, and I really don't want to step on anyone's toes and all that stuff by leaving one company going to another company without having you know about it. And Steve Rink looked at me and said, "Look, so you was good for me for my team, and said basically you're graduating to the next level. He said, I can't stop you from going to the next level. If you want to do that, go right ahead." And I had looked at that as he's giving me permission basically to do it because I don't like to step on people's toes basically. And that was basically it. And I went to Steve and told Steve, like, yeah, it'd be a good, great fit. And so Steve had the contract was written up. And at the same time, I didn't know this, but they were talking about getting Mike Miranda as well. So they got Mike in there, and we both signed the contract. And it was a really simple switchover as a signing and everything, and um, Mike had told me that at that time he was moving out of his parents' house. He was gonna move closer down to Torker, and I'm moving out of my parents' house. Magoo was there, and he was working for Max, and he said, "Hey, we have an empty apartment right above us. You guys got to go there and see if you can get that." And so once again, Mike signed his deal. I already signed mine. We went over there with Magoo, got the apartment. So now we have our team manager, Mike McLaughlin, and Magoo that works with Max downstairs, and Mike and I are upstairs right now. And Mike was messy. He was we were like Felix and Unger, right? And he was the messy one. I was the clean one. I was organized. And BMX Plus wanted to do an interview with us. And so John Kirk came by the apartment, and he was talking to me in the living room, and he said, "Where's Mike?" I said, "He's in his bedroom, sleeping somewhere." And so I opened the door for him, and he said, "Mike's not in here." No, Mike's in here. He's underneath all those Gucci jackets and all that stuff down there. He's there. And also you hear Mike kind of snoring, and he's like, "My God, he is in here." I'm like, "Yeah, take a picture of his room." So he took a couple of snapshots, and he came back out. John Carr came back out. He said, "I can't believe Mike is in there." It's like, is he really like this? Like this is the real Mike, right? And so I don't know for sure if Mike got up and came out and done some interviews with John, but it was true that you could not find Mike in his room. The mattress, didn't even have a box spring. He just had just a regular mattress on the floor. No pictures on the wall, nothing. It just all clothes. Nice shoes, $500-$600 shoes, $400-$600 jackets and blazers and all this stuff just piled up. GQ magazines all over the place, That was Mike. You would never know by him being like that. And we could have a special event, man. He's dressed up in suit and tie, really nice. That's a facade. That's a facade. So, but that was his facade. But he always hit the nail on the head when it comes down to dressing. That guy can dress, color match everything. He don't care how much it was. He's gonna spend the money to get it. I could say that was the best time of my racing career. It was just absolutely awesome. We just had so much fun, and done all this traveling around and practicing and we knew each other in a sense. And we rode over there at the parks riding area in Fullerton. I mean, 5, 6, 7 hours a day. I mean, we just stayed over there, the road. And, many months down the road, what Mike was saying that he wanted to go faster, right? He said, you teach me to go faster, I teach you how to jump. He's the one that taught me how to jump. You're the only one I've seen big time. I mean, he worked out with me, worked out with me. And finally, I started to hit jumps like in full speed. And he kind of hinted to me, he said, you don't need to hit the jump so fast. No, I need to hit the jumps fast because I'm not going to be hitting the jump slow when I'm racing. So I'm trying to get used to the racing speed because it's all about timing, all about that timing. And I finally found a rhythm that worked for me. And I just stuck with it. I was in jump faster and faster and faster and faster. And so Mike picked up on that. And so Mike said, hey, well, that's a good idea, because knowing Mike liked to showboat, I said, when you're racing, you're not showboating, so you got to hit the jump full speed so you get your timing right. And Mike and I, we worked out for hours riding around in parks, taught me how to jump. So I said, okay, now I'm going to teach you how to go fast. So we were tired. So we get back to our apartment. We had like a hill in the back of our apartment. I said, now it's time to do sprints. He said, man, it's time to do sprints. We're tired. I said, no, now it's time to do sprints when you're tired. Because anyone can do sprints when they're like fresh. When you're tired, it's a totally different subject. So the first half of the race, anyone can do the first half of the race. It's the second half of the race that makes the race. So now we're working for the second half of the race. So we were working with that all the time. And he wanted to win in like the 2 biggest races that year, ready for it. And then the following year, then I took over. And that's when we worked together out as a team. Even with Craig Bark. With Craig Bark on the team, we were set. It was just like 3 amigos, right? And we try to include Craig in all of our ventures and craziness. And he was a part of it. It was killer. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thinking back now, my career changed on Torker as getting the respect from other pros. I was the first. I don't know if I was the first pro to ever do it at that time, but I doubled in both pro classes, 20-inch pro classes, Saturday and Sunday. And after that, I got the respect of a lot of pros coming to congratulate me. They'd never done that to me before. And I felt that I belong here now, and to represent Torker in that aspect. So it was a great feeling. So I got so many memories of Torker. Still talk about it today with Miranda. It's a great time. Although some of the stuff I can't talk on film. Don't want to do that. Yeah, but it was great. We toured a lot over in Europe and here in the United States. It was awesome. First time over there, myself and Mike Miranda, never been to Europe. And we went over there with Craig Bark and Magoo. The favorite part about being over there, just to be over there, the atmosphere was different. We were like rock stars over there. Every move that we made, it was being filmed or taken pictures of. We were just treated differently over there. I enjoyed it a lot. Just talking to the people, eating the different foods, talking to different people. The way they do things over there, the track setup, the starting gate setup, the way they announce the starting before they drop the gate, it's all different. And we had to adjust to that, to be competitive. But it's funny because I had a few people over there at that time. It was like coming up to me and touching myself or touching Mike Miranda or touching Craig Bark. They act like we were superhumans. We just like them. Except we just made the magazines a lot. And they just want to see their heroes in person. So we gave him a show. It was great. I see people now, oh, that's Mike Miranda twin. You know, don't call him Tommy Brackens. He's the twin. I have no idea where he come up with that, but he just started calling it twins. And he kept saying it, tell everyone, oh, he's my twin. He's my twin brother. You know, you can't see the resemblance, you know, no, that. And I got on the bandwagon like everybody else got on the bandwagon. And Mike used to hint off to me, like, you know, well, I'm the good looking twin. I'm the good twin. Tommy's the bad twin, you know. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, Mike, you know. But Mike's the one that come up with that. When we get something like that, we just run with it, you know, with all these good memories, man. It changed my, just like I said earlier, it changed my career for the better, you know. So thank you, Steve. Thank you, Doris, for everything.